What's up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. With a little help of a muscle marker and just a little bit of math, we're going to figure out today the real secret to size of the triceps. So let's get the math out of the way first. If the triceps are being said to be 2/3 of the size of the arm, I will tell you this, the long head of the triceps is about 2/3 the size of the triceps. So even Jesse has approved this math. I think it's 2/3 times 2/3 is 4/9. Almost half of the size of your arm is going to be responsible to the development of the long head of the triceps. So we break out the muscle marker to help you to understand where that actually is. And you can see it's pretty damn expansive here. It covers a large portion of the triceps. So when you're looking to thicken up the arms, you need to be focused on that long head, but you need to know how to do it right. And here's the unique part about the long head of the triceps. Unlike the other two portions of the triceps, the lateral head and the medial head, it has an attachment that goes beyond just the arm itself. So the lateral medial heads start and finish right here on the upper arm and across the elbow joint to allow it to extend the arm. But the long head also goes back in the other direction and crosses the shoulder joint and wraps around up onto the scapula. So what does that mean? It enables you the opportunity to hit it in two different ways. The first is getting a better strength of contraction by stretching it through a series of exercises. And the other is by, yes, dropping the load a little bit more to lighter weights, but still experiencing a complete tricep contraction by getting extension of the arm behind the body as the long head of the triceps allows. So let's cover those two ends of the spectrum. First of all, the exercises that will put you into a greater stretch. The first one we're looking at here is the rope push-away. Now this exercise is, again, allowing our arm to start the exercise up in this elongated position. We know that we're stretching that long head of the triceps because if you look here quickly on me, that long head of the triceps, if it starts over here on the scapula and it ends down here past the elbow, if I can take these 2 points further away from each other, like this, like this, like this, like this, I'm getting that stretch on the long head. So now you can see that is exactly the position I start this exercise in. So from here, as I work that, I'm getting that enhanced stretch reflex to get a stronger contraction out of that long head of the triceps. Of course, extending the elbow at the same time, but now favoring that as well. And we can take that even further because we can go to another exercise here, the plate extension. Now, I'm not a big fan of trying to do this exercise with dumbbells or with a single dumbbell because what happens is you have to really, really internally rotate your arms in order to hold that dumbbell way back behind your head. But you can do it with a plate like I'm showing you here. And you can see instantly the difference in elbow position is I'm actually allowed to have my elbows drift a little bit more in front of my body, still not compromising the stretch position because we still have that arm elevated up overhead. So we're getting that long head stretch without necessarily compromising your shoulder. That's what we're looking for. And we keep it rolling here with a dumbbell lying tricep extension, probably my favorite way to really target the long head. And we can do that by allowing our arms to, again, drift back behind our body. Obviously, they're elevated. Just because I'm not standing doesn't mean that they're not elevated in relation to my torso. They are. But we allow ourselves to keep the tension on the triceps by not coming straight up to vertical. And that's something I covered before in an entire video. You want to make sure the arm stays back as you go back down into each and every rep, finishing into a point where you're still under tension. And then finally, we wrap up with a bodyweight exercise, which is the bodyweight tricep extension. And the key here is, once again, just look at the position of the arm in relation to my torso. Even though I'm in this reclined prone position here, I'm still getting that stretch on the tricep. I'm getting that overhead position here, which is going to preferentially allow that long head of the triceps to do some extra work. Okay, now here's where I think a lot of people get it wrong. They stop their attack on the long head there. But you're actually missing the true function of the long head, and that is because of the attachment, as we talked about before. Its role, and it has the ability to actually pull the arm into extension. Because it's attached to the scapula, because it's crossing here the elbow joint, it pulls back and it keeps the arm back into extension. So if you're not exploring exercises that allow you to get into this position in the full contracted position of the exercise, then you're missing out on the full function of the triceps. Now, here's the caveat. In this position, you're not going to be able to lift a lot of weights because of a concept called active insufficiency, meaning when the joint is in its fully shortened range across all joints, so the shoulder and the elbow, now I'm not necessarily going to be able to generate a lot of tension. but that does not mean that I cannot fully reach a complete contraction, and that's where you want to focus your efforts. You have to hit both sides of the spectrum. So the first group of exercises gets the heavier loads. You lift a little heavier weights there to make sure that you're taking advantage of the stretch reflex and the more powerful contraction, but here you want to focus on getting a complete tricep contraction. So we look really right away to the tricep kickback. Again, a much overlooked exercise, but one that truly, truly hits the long head in its completely contracted position very well. And you can see here as I bring it up, the arm is back behind the body. Every single time I'm holding it there. I don't want to let the arm drift down back in front of my body, not if I'm trying to really hit the long head. And I can carry that over now into a bench dip. And on the bench dip here, the first thing is you do not grip with your hands forward here, facing forward. You want to rotate them out, because I told you how gripping them with the hands forward, fingers forward position will only internally rotate your shoulders and turn this into a shoulder shredder. It doesn't have to be. You can see I get an open chest and rotate my shoulders out, and now I've got the benefit of having the upper arm back behind my body to allow for that complete contraction of the triceps. Next up is another bodyweight exercise. This is the Cobra Push-Up. And look at the similarity here. I'm allowing myself to get that arm into as close to an extended position as I can back behind my body. I can even rock my body a little bit forward or slide forward as I do each rep to assist in getting that arm back behind the body on every single contraction. All of these things, from the beginning exercises to these, involve a straightened out elbow. That is the main function of the triceps. That is why the medial and the lateral heads are always going to be working here. You're not turning them off in any of these exercises. They're all working because we're extending the elbow. We're just trying to preferentially add some extra work to that long head because the anatomy is allowing us to do that. And then finally, we have an exercise here that I love. It's called the rowing tricep pushdown. So with the rowing tricep pushdown, I allow myself to get into that extended position as much as I can by rowing the elbows back first and then driving back down into extension. And this is a tough exercise because eccentrically we're going to be challenged. Your arms are going to want to be pulled forward because all the momentum of the row and the weight stack is pulling you that way. You have to resist that, drive your arms back and down, extend the elbows while maintaining that extended position. And you can see just how much work is being done here. And for those that ever doubt the synergy of muscles that all like to work together, the back is working here as well, as you can see, to make sure all this goes down the right way. So guys, if you want to start getting more size in your triceps, you have that opportunity. You have to stop overlooking that 1/3 of the triceps and realize that it's actually responsible for 2/3 of the size of that triceps. And overall, again, as Jesse said, 4/9. I'm going to check that math, by the way. That is going to be responsible for the size of your arm increasing. So guys, putting the science back in strength here to help you out. If you're looking for more videos that do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you want a complete program that does it for you every single day, step by step, head to ATHLEAN-X.com and get it right now. In the meantime, I'll be back in just a couple days with another new video. See ya.